I'm Such Investor coming at you with another video. And in this video, I want to give a special shout out to Al from Boston and Jordan for the hard work that they put in fleshing out the AMC story and putting it all together on paper. Now, y'all seen the video where I disagree with them on certain things, and all of that set aside, I've told y'all they did a wonderful job putting the story on paper. Now, what CSI has done is I'm taking my skills that I've learned over my lifetime as far as persuasive writing and legal work and combining it all together with what they've already done, and I'm making what I believe to be possibly an unbeatable brief to the court. Now, the first thing I want you to take notice of is here. This is the table of contents, all right? And it starts off parties involved, jurisdiction, parties, plaintiffs, defendants, overview of allegations. And when they get to the overview of allegations, they go right into socking it to them. Citigroup this, Citadel that, and Citadel did do that, and Citigroup did do that. But I felt as if it was lacking something, and it needed a little background to give it the bite that we're going to need to win in court. Now, as you can see, I've started the overview of allegations with the Roaring Twenties, a prelude to regulatory intervention. All right, and I felt this is important, and as I read it, I think you'll see why. Because as I read it, and here it is, what I want you to do is, as I'm reading the history of the 1920s, I want you to sit back and think, well, I'll be damned. They're doing the same thing now as they did back then. And look what they did back then happened to America. We went from the Roaring Twenties to the Great Depression. And I bring it all home in the Roaring Twenties, a prelude to the regulatory intervention. Check it out. Listen, comment down below. And let me know what you think when it's over with. And don't forget to hit the notification bell if you want more information when I put out the videos. But here we go. Emerging from the hardships of a long, hard-fought war, World War I, America stepped graciously into an era known as the Roaring Twenties. It was an era of technological marvels and a booming stock market. These advancements fueled a nation's dream of individual prosperity and wealth, and this period was characterized by a sense of boundless prosperity and a belief in perpetual growth, with the stock market being a beacon of hope and opportunity for everyone. However, this era masked a dangerous undercurrent no one could see coming. Behind the scenes, as the American public enjoyed the prosperity of the Roaring Twenties, the economy was secretly plagued by overspeculation and excessive leveraging. Unbeknownst to many, some individuals, including powerful financiers and insiders, aimed to manipulate and control the stock market for their own personal gain. Same thing they're doing today. This period of utopia, marked by unchecked risky financial behaviors, was orchestrated by influential figures who sought to shape the market according to their own special interest. Their actions were characterized by a reckless pursuit of profits and was fueled by a disregard for the broader consequences. They engaged in practices such as margin buying, where they borrowed large sums of money to invest in stocks, creating an artificial inflation of stock prices. Market manipulation and insider trading further distorted the true value of stocks, luring unsuspecting investors into a web of deceit. These bad actors exploited a lack of regulatory oversight, using their power and influence to maintain the illusion of a booming market. Their actions ultimately led to the catastrophic stock market crash of 1929, a moment of reckoning that not only wiped out immense wealth, but also exposed the systematic vulnerabilities of a financial system manipulated for personal gain. The lack of regulatory oversight allowed financial recklessness to reach new heights, setting the stage for a devastating collapse. Because of these individuals, In 1929, the stock market crashed, erasing fortunes and plunging the entire country into an economic distress. This crash laid bare the financial system's vulnerabilities, leading to the enactment of the Securities Act of 1933 and the Securities Act of 1934. All right, now, right there, what I've done is I am not just going to put in this brief that Citadel violated Securities Act this and Citigroup Global violated Securities Exchange Act of 1934 that. I'm saying that these bad actors in the 1920s caused the market to crash and put the entire country in a state of Great Depression. And it's happening again. These laws aim to restore investor confidence and ensure market stability. Now, where I'm going to go from here is I'm going to explain why the Securities Act of 1933 and the Securities Exchange Act of 1934 were even considered. All right? These laws aim to restore what? Investor confidence and ensure market stability, reshaping the financial landscape significantly. As the nation reeled from this economic turmoil, it became clear that the era's unchecked financial exuberance had led to a catastrophic outcome, ushering in the Great Depression, a severe and prolonged turndown. This period highlighted the dire consequences of speculative excess and the critical need for stringent financial regulations. In summary, the Roaring Twenties, for all its optimism and prosperity, set the stage for one of the greatest financial crises in history, underscoring the importance of regulatory oversight in maintaining economic stability. In the aftermath of the catastrophic stock market crash of 1929, a nation reeling from economic distress found itself at a crossroads. The unchecked financial exuberance of the bad actors during the Roaring Twenties had led a devastating outcome for many. Their actions shook the very foundations of the American economy, exposing the dire need for regulatory reform. The pivotal moment arrived with the enactment of the Securities Act of 1933. This landmark legislation, known as the Securities Act of 1933, was the first federal law to regulate the securities industry and was signed into law by President Roosevelt on May 27. It represented a fundamental shift of how the nation's approach to financial markets, being a direct response to the excesses and manipulations. Its aim was to restore investor confidence and restore market stability. The Securities Act of 1933 mandated transparency and accountability in the issuance of securities, requiring companies to provide full disclosure of their financial activities to potential investors. This groundbreaking law was a crucial step towards rebuilding the shattered trust in the financial system. But the journey towards regulatory reform did not stop there. In 1934, Congress further solidified its commitment to financial oversight with the Securities Act of 1934. This comprehensive legislation established the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, a regulatory body with the authority to enforce securities laws and protect investors. These legislative measures presented a turning point in American financial history. They signaled a departure from the hands-off approach of the past and marked the beginning of a new era of regulatory oversight. The Securities Act of 1933 and the Securities Exchange Act of 1934 aimed to ensure that the financial markets operated with integrity and transparency, ultimately reshaping the financial landscape. Considering the historical journey of financial regulation in the United States, it becomes evident that the lessons of the past continue to resonate today. The Securities Act of 1933 and the Securities Exchange Act of 1934 emerged from the ashes of a devastating financial collapse, promising to bring transparency, accountability, and stability to the nation's financial markets. These landmark pieces of legislation were meant to ensure that the mistakes of the past would not be repeated. However, as we would find ourselves in the present day, a familiar story unfolds. Market makers and powerful actors once again hold significant sway over the financial landscapes. Their actions go unchecked, and their actions have impacted the lives of millions. The unchecked power of market players, driven by profit motives and a lack of oversight, has led to situations where individuals once again have lost billions of dollars, not from bad investment decisions, but from powerful entities of Wall Street. Today, we bear witness to the concerning trend that the very acts which were designed to protect investors and maintain market integrity seem to have lost its teeth. Bad actors who seek to control our markets have taken center stage once again, exploiting the regulatory gaps and pushing the boundaries of ethical conduct. The spirit of these acts, once a beacon of hope, faces the challenge of rapidly changing financial landscapes where innovation often outpaces regulation at the expense of retail investors. In this ever-evolving financial landscape, the lessons of the past must guide our actions in the present. The story of financial regulation in America is a reminder that the vigilance and the commitment to regulatory reform are essential to maintaining the integrity of our markets and protecting the interests of all participants. As we continue to grapple with the challenge of today's financial world, the echoes of the past serve as a call to action, urging us to ensure that the lessons learned are not forgotten and that the mistakes of the past are not repeated. Not bad, huh? I show that market makers and participants back then did this, and they doing the same shit today, and it's going to cause the same fucking reaction. You're going to slam America and possibly the world into another Great Depression. So, I felt it was important to add this. Now, I can begin to get into each individual defendant. For example, Citigroup Global Markets. All right, they're selling unregistered shares of AMC. They colluded in corporate election schemes. They sell of unregistered shares of APE. They stopped reporting per SEC Rule 605. All of these things that were put there to protect retail investors and our market from another financial crisis has been erased. It's as if they have a free will to do whatever they want, take as much as they want, and leave the world destitute. So that's where I'm going with this argument, people. I felt it was important to lay the groundwork of what caused the great crash and what has happened to us is about to be discussed, and at the end of it I wrap it up and I tell the judge that if something ain't done about this right now, America's financial system is not going to survive. So that's my opening introduction to the lawsuit that I'm working on. I have taken Al from Boston and Jordan's lawsuit. I've gone through it step by step, and I've centered strictly on Citigroup Global right now. And I feel as if I've put a pretty good compelling argument together to where they're not going to be able to escape people. Citigroup is done. All right, Citigroup is done. But then after that, I got to get into Citadel, Antara, and New York Stock Exchange. I figured I've already wrote the part for the New York Stock Exchange. I just can't share it with y'all because it's my argument and I don't want to give it to them yet. When they're filed, they'll get to see it then. So I hope this can give some encouragement that I've been up since 11 o'clock last night. It took about 7 hours to write that. And I'm beginning right now to go into section 2, how the past is still the present, and we have to take control and stop people like Citigroup, Citadel, Antara, and the rest of the bad actors. And I'm tell you what, people, when I'm done, they're not going to be able to wiggle out of it. So there's your update on the lawsuit. I got to watch a couple videos, catch up on the news of what's going on, because I've been out of contact for about the last 7 hours, and I need to go see what all's happening in the news and what old Kenny boy had to say recently. So with that, I hope y'all appreciate it. Comment down below what your thoughts are, and I'll see you in the next video. Love you. Be blessed.